Welcome everybody to another episode of Joey's Garage. I'm Joey, and this is my garage. Today, I'm going to be talking about regular scooter maintenance. That's something that you need to be doing on a regular basis just to make sure it's running at its best performance and you're not broke down on the side of the road. No one wants to do that. So today, I'm going to be talking about oil, gear oil. I'm going to be talking about belt and the transmission. All of those are you want to check on a regular basis. The belt and the transmission are on a yearly basis. Oil, I do every 1,000 kilometers, or I don't even believe it. I don't trust that odometer, but I do it every 1,000 miles on the odometer just to make it easy on myself. I mean, it's cheap, it's easy. Why not do it? Make sure you have a good running engine. So follow me over, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. So there's going to be two plugs that you need to remove. There's going to be one on the left-hand side. That's the drain plug. That's what I'm going to remove first, and I'll let it drain out. And then there's going to be a plug on the other side that is going to be where the kind of a mesh screen filter is at. That's all the protection the engine has. That's its oil filter. And you can see right down here I just have a clear plastic or clear glass baking dish that I use just to catch the oil. It's a little bit tight space right here, so I just like using this one, and I'll empty it out into my oil can once I get done with everything. So this one is a 17, and it comes right out. And there we go, draining the oil. From here, I'm just going to go ahead and reinstall the actual drain plug back into the engine. That's it, oil's been drained. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and go to the right hand side, and we're going to check out the filter. Typically, you don't have to remove this one when you're doing an oil change. You can just do the other side, drain it, fill it back up, and be done. But for this video, I'm going to go ahead and pull it off just to show you and just to check on the health of my engine, make sure there's nothing, no large chunks floating around in there. So I'll just use the same thing, my little cordless impact gun, just to get it off. And it is spring tensioned, so you want to make sure it doesn't pop off. And pulls out. And as you can see from here, that's what comes out. Now on a closer view, this is exactly what it is. And as you can see, there's not too much in it. Now that's been a couple minutes. I'll go ahead and put this back on. And as you can see, this is how it goes. This is going to be the cap on the bottom. You have the spring, and it has a smaller side and a larger side. Smaller side goes onto the bottom of the cap. You have the little mesh filter, and that goes onto the larger side of the spring. And from here, you just plug it right back in. And it is a spring, so you kind of have to give it a little bit of force, get it started. Now the last step in the process is to fill it back up. We took the engine oil out, so we got to put more in. Now I've said it over and over and over, 750 milliliters for a 150 cc engine. So to start, I'm going to remove the dipstick. And if this was your first time, you're a little apprehensive about doing it, just check out the dipstick beforehand. You should be doing that anyways before you ride, just to make sure that the engine oil is at a good level. But just check it before and see where it's at. When you're done, make sure it's just back in the right spot where it was before. No problems. But for me, 750 milliliters of engine oil. So whenever I'm changing the oil, or the engine oil I should say, I always do the gear oil also. Some people don't, but I just like doing it. It's a very easy step. You just remove a bolt, let it drain, put the bolt back in, remove the fill bolt, fill it up, and you're done. It's very easy, and I think it's something that it should be done. I mean, why not? The oil's cheap, and it just makes sure it's going to last longer. Okay, so to drain the gear oil, first you're going to have to locate the two plugs. There's going to be a drain, and there's going to be a fill plug. The fill plug is going to be right here, which is the bigger one of the 10 millimeter, where you have these 8 millimeters that run around. Those are just going to be kind of like holding screws. And then the drain, if you look right underneath, is going to be right under here. So you're going to want to remove this one, and I'm going to let it drain out into my pan. I'll put it back on. Use this one and this is going to be the fill, and I just fill it up until it starts running out, put this one back on, and the job is done. So just loosen that up, take it right off, and let this gear oil drain. And as you can see, there is a washer on it too. You can see it. Make sure you don't lose that, or you'll be dripping oil everywhere. Alright, so the gear oil is drained out. I put the drain plug back on. Next thing we need to do is take out the fill plug and fill it right back up. So for this, I just have the same thing, 10 millimeter. Already loosened it up just to make it a little easier. And I'll just take this right back off. And to fill it, I use, like I said, the Mobile One, but I have a little, little clear type hosing on it. And it just makes it easier to fill. That way I can just plug it in there, dip it up right, and just fill it up. As I said, there's no set amount. You just keep filling it up until you see the gear oil start spilling out. Looks like it needs a little bit more. And this is one of those things, it's so easy. Why not do it when you're doing the oil? Just to make sure you have a good functioning engine and transmission. Because that's the last thing I want to do is have a problem, have it run dry, or have some oil breakdown, and then I'm stuck on the side of the road trying to push this thing out of the way and having to go get my truck and then pick it up. And so there we go. See, it's draining out now. You can see it running. Just let it run until it runs out, or it stops draining, and then put it right back on, and you're done. As you can see, it stopped. And for some reason, my fill plug, it didn't have a washer on it. I noticed that the drain one did, so that's what I was just getting right now. Is I just grabbed the washer for it. So to perform maintenance on the actual CVT transmission, you're going to need to take off the kickstarter. This cover right here, it has about 9 8mm bolts, and then you'll be able to get to the inside right over here. So we can check the belt, and we can check the variator, and we can check the weights inside of the variator. Those are going to be some of those preventative maintenance steps that you need to take and just check so you have a healthy running engine and you won't have any problems. So let me change angles, and we will take this off, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So the first step is to remove the kickstarter. This is going to be 8mm bolt, and it should just come right out. With that removed, next is going to be I think it was 8 or 9 of these 8mm bolts right along the end, the cover. Now, a good tip for when you're pulling these out is to make sure you line them up on the ground as how you pulled them out or you removed them, so that you'll be able to know where these go, because this one's going to be short, and there's a long one down here, and then a couple more short ones and a long one, I believe. So as you pull them out, just lay them out on the ground as how you found them, so when you put them back in, you can put them back in the right spot. And there we go. That should be all of them. From here, you should be able to just pull this right off. Now with the CVT cover off, you're able to see the variator right here. It's going to have some weights on the inside. You have your belt, and you have your clutch. And I'm just looking at the free play of this one. It looks good. And over here it looks good. Now to remove the belt, you can either push this together, the clutch, and kind of ride it up, and sometimes you can get it off on there. But the easiest way is just to remove this variator and the fan right here. So this is going to be one of the specialty items that you will need. You'll need a impact wrench, or you will need a spanner wrench, and that's just so you can hold these two holes right here, hold them steady, and then be able to hit this and knock it loose. But for me, I'm just going to use an impact gun. And there we go. See? Very easy. I find it easy. Just use the impact gun and be done with it. and you'll have the nut that comes off, and then there's also going to be a washer. So you want to be very careful and not lose this, because you will need it. And you want to put it back on the exact same way you found it. So if I can get mine off, I'll just pull it off. You got the fan, washer, bolt, and see? Now the belt can come right out. But for me, I want to check out this Variator and see how it's doing. And it comes out in 2 parts just like this. And you want to hold it from the back when you pull it off. That way everything comes out together. And with this, you're going to have the boss, which it's called, right here. You can see on mine there's some wear and tear, some doesn't look too bad. I think I have a spare one that I can just replace it with. And then you have the Variator and the weights inside. Now for this, I'll go ahead and go over to my bench and I'll show you exactly what I'm looking at. I'm going to replace the Variator. Just because the weights, I got new ones of these. You can see they're starting to wear a little bit. If we'll zoom in, you can see there's normal wear and tear, but I don't have any flat spots, so that's good to know. I'm happy with that, but it's just getting old, so I will replace it. I got a brand new Variator face, and as you can see with this one, the splines look awesome because it's brand new, of course. And then same thing with the actual inside of the Variator. I got the, we'll pull it off this way so you can see. Inside looks really good. The posts look good. And then I have these plastic pieces that ride right here that it rides up and down on this part. So I put it back together just like this. As it opens and closes, it rides up and down. And that's why those plastic pieces are very important. So I'm glad I took it off to see what kind of wear and tear. It's not too bad, but I'll replace it with the new one just because I don't want to have any issues with it. As I said, I don't want to be breaking down on the side of the road. So that's what they look like. I'm going to go ahead and put the new ones back in on the scooter. So now the belt's on, everything looks secure. Last thing to do is to put the case back on, and just in the reverse order we took it off, and this will be good to go, and we're done. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Joey's Garage. As I said, it's a very easy process. These things are really easy to do, and they should be done, just so you can avoid those problems down the road and on the side of the road. I try to be as quick as possible, but also be as detailed as possible. It was kind of a cutoff between the two. As I said, it's hot in my garage. It's about 95 degrees now, and just doing these simple little things, it's difficult. So I hope you enjoyed it. From how long it took, I'm guessing it's going to be about 1, maybe 2 episodes, or 2 episodes and then a summary. I don't know, I'll come up with something.